What I consider as the fourth lane, the jungle provides a bountiful amount of experience, gold, a free lane for your team, and the possibility of surprise ganks. As such, jungling is becoming more and more important in the competitive scene. Hey everyone, this is Luminous coming to you guys with a jungling guide. Creep stacking is the pulling of neutrals away from their spawn point so another neutral camp will spawn. At the start of every minute, the game checks if there are any units or wards within the spawn box, and if there aren't, a neutral camp will spawn. A spawn box is a set region near the camp, and each spawn box varies in size. In most camps, there's a definite direction you want to pull to ensure you get the creep stack. Because each spawn box is different, the pull timing ranges anywhere from the 49th second to the 58th second, but all camps can be pulled from the 51st to the 54th second mark. Pull timing is also camp dependent. Camps with Centaur or the Kobold Taskmaster can be pulled at the later time, whereas camps with already 2 or 3 stacks must be pulled at the earlier time. Double stack, triple stack, and even quad stack is quite possible. It comes down to proper hotkeying and using waypoints to do multiple stacks in multiple locations. Waypoints can also be used to do automatic stacks, and it's quite popular to use automatic pull to stack ancients. Though it has its use, I still recommend manual stacking. Too many things go wrong with auto stacking, and overall it doesn't help you to become a better player. Lastly, it's very important to point out that stacking will increase your gold and experience intake by a huge amount, but only if you kill the camp quickly enough. So please, don't overstack. Creep pulling is a technique that drags neutral creeps into the lane, attracting your lane creeps back into the neutral camp. Creep pulling allows you to jungle without taking too much damage, and also denies some experience to the enemy team. Since different camps on the map have different pull timings, it's easier just to use the mini-map and judge the timing that way. Some camps are creep dependent and can only be pulled when those creeps are available. Other camps are only pullable if nearby trees are destroyed. The top Scourge camp is pullable by both sides, but do note that the lane creeps will only be pulled if they're not aggroed by enemy heroes or creeps. Once you have successfully pulled lane creeps into the neutral camp, you could continue pulling the same creeps into other neutral camps. This requires a very precise timing of aggroing the second camp as the first camp dies. Certain heroes have spells that are helpful in doing double pulls, but all heroes can do it with some practice. Again, it's important to point out that just because you can pull, it doesn't mean you should. Even though pulling has its advantages, you could lose your outer towers very quickly if you overpull and put your lane heroes in danger. Understanding stacking and pulling allows you to jungle efficiently, but if you want to have a perfect jungling pattern, you have to understand neutrals and their aggro system. Neutral acquisition range is 300, and most melee heroes can get off pulls and stacks without taking more than one hit. Neutral aggro is dispelled once they move a certain distance away from their camp, or stay away from the camp for more than 3 or 4 seconds. Once aggro is dispelled, they will run straight back into camp regardless of what is done to them. This is especially helpful for pulling centaurs. Lastly, when there are observers in the game, neutral creeps have a much higher tendency to aggro upon your hero when you're attacking neutral creeps. Level 1 neutral camps have the largest variation compared to other camps, and since most jungling patterns start with a level 1 camp, it's very important to understand these camps as much as you can. Poison Node will attack all nearby targets once to get the poison buff on your units, so be careful if you're salving or clearing up nearby. Harpy Storms and Ghosts will have higher priority to focus on melee hero units. Pulling and stacking healing troll camps should be done only by aggroing the camp and not attacking it. If you attack the camp, the healing troll will stay behind in the spawn box and start healing, and thus blocking the next spawn. Aside from Golem, Ghosts, and Black Dragons, all other neutral camps will fall asleep at night, which makes pulling and stacking a little bit more annoying. Some camps, such as the healing troll camp, might look unpullable at nightfall. However, certain items such as Magic Stick, Soul Ring, Power Tread, Ring of Besaidus will aggro creeps when you activate them. These items are based on the latter skill Fan of Knife, and they will do a 0 damage AoE nuke within 400 range. This will wake up creeps and aggro them at night. Furthermore, these items have an AoE range of 400, whereas creeps only have an acquisition range of 300, and thus if you use these items, it will extend your pull range by 100. In terms of tackling the actual camp, it is important to understand which neutral creeps to focus first. Aura creeps tend to be good targets, since they generally make the rest of the camp much tougher to take down. Sometimes it also depends on what items you're holding. If you're holding a stout shield, you might want to take the bigger and higher DPS creeps first, since the smaller creeps will deal little to no damage to you. Lastly, keep a close eye on your experience bar. If you're close to level up, just kill the smaller creeps to get the bonus HP, damage, and the next level of your spell, which will speed up your jungling pattern by a huge amount. In the event the enemy team wards off your jungle, here are some good counter warding spots against the general wards. Before you go into your next game and start jungling, here's 3 important tips to keep in mind. Just because you could pull and stack, sometimes it doesn't mean you should. Some heroes benefit from pulls, others benefit from stacks, while some heroes could jungle fine without any of these methods. Recognizing what benefits your team the most is a very important part of jungling. Even though you're jungling, Dota is still a team game. Keeping up your MP and HP as high as possible and actively check lanes whether there's an opportunity to gank. Killing a hero is equivalent to 2 high level camps worth of gold and a good book of EXP. Also, you could check runes very easily from the jungle during the daytime, and it's very helpful for your solo mid to get the rune control. Even though you're farming in the jungle, you should help your team as much as possible. The toughest part about jungling is awareness. Keeping a constant eye on the minimap for intruders into the jungle, keeping tab on the clock to time your stacks, and still doing the necessary microing and pulling can be extremely difficult. To jungle at a very high skill level, it requires a lot of patience and a lot of practice. And with that, I hope you guys learned something from this guide, and have fun jungling!